everyone. Thank you for coming to this Matchday -1 press conference for the Leagues Cup quarterfinals game between Philadelphia Union and Mazatlán FC. Here with us is Coach Jim Curtin and Flach. Please, the first question over here.
Hey guys, so Leon, I wonder, last year you guys made a deep run in this tournament. What did you guys kind of learn from that experience last year that you think you're bringing into this year's tournament?
I think that every opponent is individual. I think you can't buy anything from the game you just played because every team is just so different. Every team plays completely different, and it's always advance or go home. So yeah, new matchup, new team, and also new tactics. So yeah, just every game is a new game, and you can't buy anything from your last win.
It's fair to say you guys came into this tournament looking to generate some momentum that you could then take into the league play.
Yeah.
I wonder how you, after these string of good performances, how much more confident as a group do you think you guys feel than maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago?
I think we feel definitely pretty good. I think we also showed in the league, even when we lost, that we are on a good way, but we were just missing out on results. But I think we take a lot of momentum, especially right now, from the Leagues Cup into the league, but we also know that the league is different compared to the Leagues Cup. So take the momentum, take the confidence, and I think we proved that we are still a good team, and that's what we want to show now in the next couple of games. And then obviously when we go back to MLS, that's what we want to show, and then make a deep run there too.
What about defensively? You guys have given up, I think, 4 goals in 6 games since Andres came back.
Yeah, I mean, you just said it. I think it's a big difference if Andre is in goal, which is no offense to all the other guys, but Andre is still the best goalkeeper in the league, and also just him being in the goal, just being a leader, also vocally, I think that makes a big difference. And yeah, and then we also were a little bit lucky sometimes, which we weren't in the games before, honestly. So I think the momentum, Andre coming back, I think all those things are now playing in our hands, and we made the best out of it, and we try to keep that going.
No questions.
Any other questions? Okay.
Yeah, for Jim, I guess is Jose available on Saturday? We saw some reports. Is he available to you guys?
Yeah, look, we're in the final stages of a transfer window. Obviously, we've seen the reports. There's truth to the reports. Things aren't finalized yet, so I'm not able to officially comment, but there is some momentum in that area.
I guess last year you guys made a deep run in this tournament, and it took something out of you guys as it went back to the league. I wonder how you kind of balance that of, obviously you're 3 wins away from a trophy, but I take it there's different goals for once this tournament. And how do you kind of balance that as a coach in terms of how far to push on this?
Yeah, look, we have still a lot of tough games to go in the competition. The reality is if we win this game, we're going to wind up playing 7 additional Leagues Cup games like we played last year. I still think those elimination games, like Leon mentioned, are do or die, and they're great tests for you for the final stretch of the regular season and then hopefully the playoffs. So we want to play as many games as possible. We want to go as far as possible. We have a difficult opponent in Mazatlán who is, let's be honest, coming off a big result against Cruz Azul. They're kind of the underdog, but have played really, really well. They're very, very organized. 2 blocks of 4, tough to break down. You look at their attacking pieces, there's some familiarity. Amaria, former Minnesota player, Rubio, very good striker. Arcega, 19-year-old kid that, if you guys have watched some of this Leagues Cup, is an incredible attacking player. For 19, he's doing some really impressive things. So it's a very tough opponent. That's kind of our focus now. We had a good run, you're right, last year in Leagues Cup that came to an end, finished 3rd. Obviously, we want to go further this year, and that's our main goal.
Do you take anything away from the way that you guys did it last year? Is there any way to preserve anything for, obviously you guys are building momentum from this tournament, but if you guys are spent at the end of it, then that might not carry forward. Is there a way to balance that, do you think, as a coach, or have you picked up anything from last year's experience that you think might help you?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, last year was the first time we played 50-plus games as a club, and you know, I think every team in the league, that was a shock for a lot of teams. You know, we played a lot more because we had Champions League and the Leagues Cup run. So yeah, it does fatigue the squad. There's no doubt about it. And you know, I've mentioned in the past couple weeks, it's been amazing to have such a deep group for these couple games. Having said that, you know, with maybe something with Jose and Mbaizo actually picked up a knock, so he'll miss tomorrow. All of a sudden, we're not thin, but thinner pretty quick. So team health is really critical. Peaking at the right time is really critical. I will say in our last 6 performances, our group has done an incredible job. Every player has contributed, whether it's as a starter, whether it's for 30 minutes, whether it's for 1 minute to close out a game. Everybody's kind of embraced their role, but you see the fine margins and the fine lines when you maybe have a guy get transferred or a guy gets injured or an international call-up. The squads can get thin really fast. So that's kind of something you do want to guard against, Matthew, for sure. And it's important. Health and peaking at the right moment in our league is critical.
What is the prognosis on Olivier?
Just a high hamstring. So I think, you know, it'll only be, I think he'll be possibly available for the next game, but it would be too quick for this one. So it's not a long-term injury, but you see all of a sudden now, instead of that, you know, I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but when Nathan starts or Olivier starts, they both bring different skill sets, but there's not much drop-off, you know what I mean? So as seamlessly as, you know, Olivier gets hurt in that game and Nathan jumps in and does a great job for us. So we won't have that luxury this game, right? We're a little thinner. If a guy like Kai goes down, you have to be creative, or if Harrell picks up a knock, we'll have to do something a little maybe outside the box. Obviously, Frankie could come in maybe and help us, but that would be his first experience. So, you know, it can happen quick where your depth can turn into you can get thin really fast, and that's the thing we want to avoid, especially as you go through this many games in this quick a succession.
Any other questions?
Do I have time to ask? Yeah. Jim, I heard you mention to Matt that Jose is available, there's technicalities, whatever. The last time we went through this, you held the player out. He didn't play any games until he was sold.
Right.
So they're going to play tomorrow.
No.
Leon, you know, there's been interest in Jose from other clubs around the world for a long time. It's nothing new that he was potentially going to get sold at some point. They got you, they've got Danley. Are you ready to step into this knowing you've played the 6 obviously here before? It's a very specific role. It's got a lot of things. Are you ready to potentially be the guy for the rest of the year if that's what's called?
I mean, lineup says I play 8. I would say I play 6-8 mix, depending if we have the ball or not. So I'm used to the position, and I think I know like the center backs. I know the position. I know what it needs to be playing there, and I mean I like the position a lot, honestly. Depending on the matchups too, but yeah, I'm ready for whatever position. I mean, I can play everywhere except maybe goalkeeper, but I would play everywhere. So I'm ready to step in whatever it needs, and I think I've shown that, and yeah, pretty confident I can do that.
What is Stanley's status?
Am I allowed to say this yet? Literally 10 minutes before this, as of 10 minutes before this, he is available. So that is good.
Is he going to change in another 10 minutes?
It better not. I hope not. Yeah, so it's government stuff. It's not soccer stuff.
Y'all sold Sanders and Gallo back to Denmark. There's nothing new in clubs around the world who will take a flyer on a prospect who works, he doesn't, they sell him after a year or whatever it ends up being. It hasn't happened too often with this team that it's worked out quite like that historically. Is that maybe something that fans should get used to? Because as I said, in the soccer world, there's nothing new about it, but it's new here.
Well, look, I think every situation is different, right? Every situation is unique. You had an instance with, I think you guys know now, the relationship with Lyngby and where Sanders was coming from. He didn't get playing time there. The hope was to come here and get first team minutes. Unfortunately, that didn't evolve and happen. Still did a good job with the second team. But if you go through, you know, our group of midfielders, it's a tough group to go into, and you have to displace somebody. You guys know the names, even, you know, from Rafa to Bueno. Those guys are starters on a lot of teams in MLS. and they're still even fighting to get in. So didn't work out. It's not the end of those types of ideas and flyers, as you say, but players need to be getting minutes with the first team, and it didn't work out in this instance. He'll go to a second league team in Denmark, and hopefully things go well. But I can't stress enough, guys, how hard it is to become a starter in any first team in any league in the world and stay there. That's what is the challenge, and that's what Sanders will go through and try and get those minutes elsewhere.
Historically, this team had to hit on, and you've said it a million times before, you had to hit on every international signing, every domestic signing, everything for things to work. Have you sensed there's a little more willingness, not only in the front office, but above the front office, to gamble and fail if it means better for the long term?
Yeah, I think we still recognize we have to spend smart. That's in our DNA. We have to be creative with how we do it. We have to find players that are top value and maybe diamonds in the rough. I think there's examples. Jose would be an example. I think Julian Carranza was a creative way. Kai Wagner, Leon Flach sitting next to me. These guys, and you see when they come and their market value goes up, and that's something that we're proud of. It speaks to the players' willingness to get better. So again, we want to create an environment where players come here, improve, get better, win, and if the time is right, possibly move on. So again, that's in our DNA, but certainly we'll continue to try to spend in a smart, efficient way. I think our ownership has voiced it recently, very recently, that they are going to have to open up and spend a little bit more as this league continues to go. I think that's natural, and I think as you build towards 2026, you guys have heard me say it, these are important years, not just for MLS, but for the United States. And I think you saw a big move with the new national team coach, and we're ramping up towards that. And I think our club will be just like others to try to improve, get as strong as possible, as quickly as possible as we build towards what will be probably the most important year in 2026 in our country for the sport.
Time for 2 more questions via Zoom. Please, Jose Nunez, we hear you.
Good morning, both of you. Jim and Leon, would love to hear from you. Jim as a coach and Leon as a player who has experienced it and maybe comes back and would want to experience it as well. The importance of playing CONCACAF Champions Cup and obviously the opportunity to qualify through this tournament. What would it mean? What's the importance of it to you as a player and a coach in the club?
I'll start, I guess. Look, you want to be playing in games that are games of consequence, elimination games against top opponents. There is something I enjoy playing the League MX teams and teams all over Central America because it's different. We play DC United and Red Bull and New York City FC over and over in the league. People forget that we play them in the preseason oftentimes, so we almost know each other too well. So it is good for us to experience new opponents, new tactics, new strategies, and challenge ourselves against top teams. And look, we're in the final 8 of a competition now. Every team is unique. Every team is dangerous. Every team is strong that is left. And there is, like you said, a Champions League spot on the line. So that's how we qualified last year with the 3rd place finish. We'll look to do the same and hopefully go even further this season.
Yeah, and I think my first game was in Saprissa, so they have a big meaning for me too. I can remember every game we played in Champions League, honestly. For example, also the one we played in the Azteca Stadium. So every game of them is like do or die, which honestly I love because that's why you play the sport, and you play against the best. Club America, for example, the individual skill those players have, it's I think top of the top. And you want to compete against the best every time, and every game, which I love, has different challenges. If you play games maybe in Costa Rica or El Salvador, every game has a new challenge for you. So I think Champions League is something great. I think something also underappreciated a little bit here. So I think it's a great thing, and it's definitely also a stage where we can prove that we're a great team. So yeah, I think me and the team, we also enjoy to play there, and we want to go and play there next season again.
And one last question for Todd Lewis, please.
Thank you. This question is to Leon. Obviously, you guys always want to win championships every single year. But you look at the core group of this team, Julian Kranza has been moved on, Jose Martinez is about to be moved on. There's a couple of players, including yourself, who are out of contracts after this season. Is there any motivation, extra motivation between the squad to finish strong and try to bring home a trophy this season for you guys?
Yeah, of course. And like you said, we lose players, but then I think what made us great is that somebody else will step up. For example, Ty is doing that, and then somebody else will do it now. But I think everybody of this team has proven that he belongs to this team. And I think if you are, like we have been in the last couple of years, we always have been really close to winning like big-time trophies. And I think it's about time because you say like every team has maybe a championship window, and I think we have ours still. And I think there's nothing better to win a trophy and just to prove that we are a great team, which we are. And I think winning the trophy just shows everybody that you did something right throughout the whole year, and or like we did it probably over the last 4, 5, 6 years. And I think, yeah, we want to prove everybody maybe also wrong, because there are also some doubts outside, and we want to show with winning a trophy that we did a lot of stuff actually right.
Coach Jim, Curtin and Flach, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.